Good morning. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Martha Sincula, and I'm filling in for Glennis Peterson this morning, and I'll be your service leader today. Our speaker this week is Donna Smith. She will be available after this service for an after-sermon discussion on Zoom. The sign-in time is 11:15, and the conversation will begin at about 11:30. If you have not yet used Zoom, just Google Zoom, and you will be directed to download the free app. You can do this on your phone, your tablet, or your computer. Just follow the prompts, and once you've done that, click on the link in your email that Michael Wheeler sends out each week. Otherwise, after-service discussions are recorded so you can view them anytime on YouTube, just like our services, which are generally uploaded on Saturday nights. And since you're using YouTube to view this service, please click on the red subscribe button. This will make it much easier to find this channel anytime. And if you also click on the little bell next to the subscriber button, it'll go ding, and you will receive notifications whenever there's a new video uploaded. In addition to our services and discussions, we also have meditations and interviews. There's a lot to check out on our YouTube channel. Please do. It's important to make every effort to stay connected with one another during this physical separation. Please take time to call and check in with other members of the congregation, see how they're doing. If you know how to find us on YouTube or have used Zoom, help others who might be able to benefit from your assistance, because they might find it too difficult to really participate, and we would like them to be able to do so. I want to thank Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swangham for their work every week in producing these videos. Thank you, Michael and Lucy. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Oberlin UU Fellowship, Oberlin, Ohio. We light this chalice to find inner peace, to love each other and faith in ourselves, also to be welcoming to whomever we meet and kind to all living creatures. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Our opening words today are the 7 principles that we here at Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation uphold. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. The goal of world community and peace, liberty, and justice for all. And respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. As a Unity worldwide ministry spiritual leader, Donna's ministerial training was focused on pastoral care. Her heart is most joyful when she can help others and find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles here at UUC, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry. Before pursuing ministry, she was a certified public accountant, operating her own business for many years. And since retiring, she does the accounting for Abicello Winery in Roseburg on a part-time basis. We're very happy to have Donna with us. Donna?
Well, good morning, UUUers. It's really good to be here. I wish I could see your faces in the physicality, but I guess we're not there yet. But it always reminds me when I say UUUers of that song that I really want you to adopt as your theme song, and that's you, I'm in love with you. So I still want you to think about that. So today, I want to talk about practicing the principles in challenging times. We are in very interesting time in our evolution. To many, it appears as if all of the foundations of democracy and integrity that we have fought for and worked for so long are falling down, and we are moving backwards instead of forwards. And this can be very scary. When we are scared, our minds take over, and we tend to create scenarios. A lot of, oh no, what if scenarios, which then bogs us down even further into fear. The important issues of today are political future and whether we can maintain the democratic system which honors the choices of the people, the future of every citizen of this country and how they will be treated with respect and equality, and many other issues are being challenged. The challenging times are making us look at all of these issues at a much deeper level than we have ever had to do before. And we as citizens of this country, and as part of the humanity of the world, have many issues to face square on, look at with honesty, and make decisions either based on old limiting beliefs and habits or based on a new system that incorporates truth, honesty, and integrity. And it is our choice. I feel the universe is shaking us up because we have been far too long complacent. It is for our own growth and for a better future for all of us that we look at and choose what we want for our future and that of our children. Mona Delfino, a great spiritual leader of today, says, "The thing is that every time you hear something that sounds negative, there's always this major positive going on. We don't want to get caught up in anything that's negative. We don't want to live pie in the sky either. We want to be able to balance. We want to see life as it really is and say, God, look at all of these challenges. What's on the other side of the challenges? What's underneath the covers? What are we not seeing? That's where we have to start looking." So where do we start looking and how do we move through all of this? Ask yourself some very important questions and be very honest with yourself. If you are not even sure what your beliefs are, ask yourself, how do I discover what my true beliefs are? Have I really paid attention to my beliefs in a way that I am applying them to my life? Have I really paid attention to my thoughts, words, and actions, and how they are affecting my life and those of others? Do I think, speak, and act on the basis of other people's beliefs and habits, or am I expressing my own? Do I shrink back and say nothing or do nothing when I hear or see something that in my heart I do not agree with or condone out of complacency? Or do I shrink back out of fear that something bad might happen to me if I take action or say something? Do I feel the issues are so big that I can't make any difference? Many people have not taken the time to define their principles and beliefs and have put their attention totally to the outer world and all of its demands. When this happens, in times of challenge, they have no inner foundation with which to guide and help them through the issues of this day. An inner foundation is necessary if we are to navigate through the challenges and make choices that are for the highest and best of not only ourselves, but for all of humanity, for Mother Earth, and for the collective consciousness of our world. I feel very blessed because I was introduced to the principles of unity and chose to be a minister of those principles. And I was introduced to the principles of the Unitarian Universalists and have gratefully added them to my unity principles as a good foundational set of principles to live by. Unity has 5 and UU has 7. The only reason I'm affiliated with both is because neither of them have any dogma. And the principles of both are based on truth, integrity, love, and compassion for all beings. And I consider them principles of the heart. In both of these congregations, the principles are listed in their Sunday bulletins and may be posted on the walls of the sanctuaries. Do you read these principles? Think about these principles and ask yourself why they mean something to you, that you have chosen to be a part of the congregation? Or do you know they exist and really don't think about them too much? Do you know them word for word, but have not really taken the words to heart and allowed them to guide you, especially during these times? Now, these questions are not meant to put you on the spot. They are meant to invite you to think about them in a very deep way. Because it is one thing to know the principles, and it is another to live them. To know them intellectually and to live them from the wisdom of the heart is what will bring the balance that is necessary that Mona was speaking about. And balance means taking time daily for practices that help keep you centered. I believe our principles can help us in a big way right now to access that balance. Now, Glennis read the UUUC principles as our opening words today. I am inviting you to go to the principles and really feel and define what they mean to you. And when you do this, they come alive and they become like the light of a flashlight to guide you and help you make your choices in every now moment. Principle: a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I vision that the light of the flashlight is like the light of your soul showing you the way to discover and choose life-enhancing choices. You will find truth and meaning within you. You will find other people or situations outside of you that will be the catalysts that help you feel and define your truth and meaning. And there is a very critical difference that we must understand here. The outer is not where you find your truth and meaning. Yet it is through the relationships in the outer that you develop and move into higher truths and understandings within you. It is always within you. So the challenges of today are helping us do that. In fact, the challenges of today are actually insisting that we do that. When we do this, we will move through these challenges with more grace and less pain, instead of kicking and screaming in fear and suffering, which so many are doing right now. Principles. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. Acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Now, these three principles work together and speak to the oneness of life and the inherent qualities of all of life, not just human beings, but with life. The greatest gift we have ever been given is life. In unity, our first two principles are that there is only one omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent God or Spirit, that is love, and that each one of us is an extension of that source, a spark of divinity. So we are inherently an aspect of love, and us as such are inherently worthy of being, just being. That is very soothing and comforting thought to know that we are part of this empowered essence of life. Our challenge is to extend these principles of oneness and worthiness to all beings. I want to share a lesson from A Course in Miracles that to me says it all. In fact, I think it is one of the most important lessons in the Course in Miracles and for humanity. And it says, when you meet anyone, remember it is a holy encounter. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. As you think of him, you will think of yourself. Never forget this, for in him you will find yourself or lose yourself. So how can these three principles help us in our challenges today? When we look at anyone, remember there are two aspects at play here. The first aspect is the true essence of each individual. Everyone is divine. It cannot be any other way. It is a holy encounter. The second aspect is the human being that has manifested as a choice from the individual soul. The human being has an ego, and that ego is fear, as defined by A Course in Miracles. So when an individual is acting from ego, that individual is not acting from its divine nature, its integrity, or its truth. That person is acting from fear and not from wisdom. So when we see an individual acting out of fear, remember that is not who that individual truly is. And then separate the actions from the divine essence of the individual. This is very important to understand. In other words, we do not have to accept or condone the actions of another. But if we are living these three principles, we must not throw the individual out with the bathwater. That's the whole point. So when living these principles, we choose thoughts, actions, and words that will help heal the situation, not add to the unrest of the situation. So accusing the other side is not going to help. Looking for solutions and understanding will. Dr. Morter says, we're each meant to be the bringer of solutions as we create the life we dream of living. Principles. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. The right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and society at large. The goal of world community and peace, liberty and justice for all. These three principles do not have attached to them the words, if the other believes or sees the world as I do, or if the other has the same color of skin as I do, or if the other believes in the same sexual preferences as I do, or if the other sees everything the way I do. Those are not part of the principles. Jesus said to love thy neighbor as thyself. He did not add any conditions to that statement. So these principles are pure and do not include any of the conditions that humans tend to place on them. So we're being asked today, there's some very big issues facing us, to remember these principles in their purest form. No conditions attached. These principles are reminding us of the fact that we are divine beings and that we deserve equal treatment. These principles reflect the processes that we as human beings value, so we may express the inherent worthiness of all people. Remember, through our social constructs is how we manifest these principles. As I have said before, the world is a reflection of our collective consciousness. The world today is showing us that we as a collective humanity are not, in many ways, expressing these principles. If the collective consciousness was high enough, we would be seeing a different world based on equal treatment and caring and compassion for all of humanity. So we have some work to do. We have to learn how to live differently by incorporating the wisdom of our principles. That is what all the chaos of today is trying to teach us. And it must start, of course, in the heart of every individual. In all the issues that confront us today, do not allow them or individuals in front of you to pull your consciousness down where you act from fear. Remember your principles and respond with integrity and wisdom. Each individual, I believe, is required to respond, take action in some way to help ensure the equality of all and to help establish a world of peace. And this cannot happen if you fall in consciousness and interfere. You must raise your consciousness. And I know you've heard me say that so many times, and you're going to hear me say it again. It's so important. When you maintain the high road, you are producing a better life, not only for yourself, but for all of life and for the world. So we are here to find common ground and solutions that work for the greater good, not to exert our control, our perceptions, and our insistence that things be the way that we would like them to be. Unity principle number 3 states, we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. We must open our minds to see more from higher perspectives. We must let go of all of those subconscious beliefs and habits that limit us. Here is where we must do our inner work, to discover what those are, to release them, and to make better choices for ourselves and our world. Unity principle number 4 is, through prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with God. How many times have you prayed for or asked for a resolution, or for guidance along your path, or for a new opportunity to a situation that was troubling you, all the while clinging to a desired result? Needing situations to work a certain way or remaining fixed on the specific outcomes you want cuts you off from your divine flow of life and wisdom within you that transcends circumstances of life and transcends the limits of your imagination. Human beings have a lot of work to do, a lot of growing to do, a lot of releasing to do, a lot of unlearning to do, and a lot of relearning to do. There is a better future ahead of us if we use our wisdom throughout this growing process. Do not fear. Walk in strength and with courage, knowing your beliefs and living your beliefs. The 5th unity principle is, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. In other words, walk your talk. So when traffic has stalled you, when your computer crashes, when someone says something that hurts you, when you see something in the world that disturbs you, stop and ask yourself if you want these circumstances to leave you with a feeling of frustration or anger, or do you want to choose to respond with the wisdom of the principles that you believe in your heart, which is a choice for inner peace. So I encourage you to revisit the principles and then visit them often so that they are in your awareness, and think of them every time a challenge faces you. And use these principles to respond to every challenge and be a bringer of solutions to help all of us move through these times of change, individually and collectively. So now I'd like to invite you to move into meditation with me. So find that comfortable place and allow your body to fall into relaxation. Close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Breathe in the breath of life. Exhale love and gratitude. Bring your attention to your heart. Breathe. Think of something that brings a feeling of love and joy to you. Smile. Smile. Now envision a bright and loving light flowing into your crown chakra and touching every part of your body as it descends down to below your feet. You are embraced in love and light. So as you bask in the love and light, I ask that you be with your heart and feel these words of truth. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There is an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There is a sense of holiness in you the thought of sin has never touched. The light that is embracing you illuminates your mind and heart and shines a light on the wisdom that guides you and the love that comforts you. Divine illumination removes the shadows of insecurity and doubt that may darken your mind and constrict your heart. The illuminating light of Spirit frees you from the limitations of time and moves you into the eternal now. Communing with the infinite presence that is within and all around you brings peace to your heart. And it is from this place the intuitive guidance of divine illumination will emerge into your awareness as it is needed throughout your day. So let us rest in your heart with these words in the silence. As you bring your awareness back to the place you are, keep these comforting words and truths with you. Namaste, my dear friends. I love you, and stay well and happy.
Our closing words today are by Albert Camus. He said, "In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer, and that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back." The chalice is now extinguished, but its light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of us. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place, and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those you have yet to meet. May it be so.